Okay, first of all, like I said Sunday evening, and we're happy to get a home victory last Saturday. Getting ready for South Carolina. They're coming off a very impressive road win in our league. When you look at them, they've got six returning starters on offense and defense. Really, what stands out to me about their defense is, they're one of the top in the country in total defense. They're third in our league. Their third downs, I think they're first in the league on third down defense, so that's going to present some challenges. And then you look at their offense. Their running back Kevin Harris runs extremely hard. The receiver Shi Smith is a very electric, and their quarterback Colin Hill. I mean, I'm very impressed with him. He's a big guy that has a real strong arm. So, real solid team. We talked about our message has been let's get a little bit better each week, and so that'll be what's on our mind. But we're looking forward to going on the road. I don't think we've been to South Carolina, I think, since 2011. So traditionally a tough place to play, so our guys are going to have to be ready. Questions?
First question is from Brian Matthews.
Yes, Coach, good morning, and thank you for speaking to us. Just wanted to ask you about your secondary. Both safeties and Pritchett and Roger played all 77 snaps against Arkansas. You think that contributed to Arkansas having so much success throwing the ball there at the end of the first half and the second? And if so, how much do you think possibly getting Jalen Simpson back will help that?
Yeah, getting Simpson back, which I expect him to practice today, so we'll see. Jordan Peters got knocked out of the game early too, so that was an issue. But we'll see. It's if we have our guys healthy, we do feel like we have quality depth. We've got to disrupt the quarterback more, and that'll help them with that too. But hopefully we'll get our guys back healthy this week.
And just a quick follow-up, the chances of getting Domio back also this week.
Yeah, we expect him to be out there at practice today too. So, as a matter of fact, I expect all of our guys to be out there back at practice, other than KJ Britt. So now we'll see what that means. As far as how they progress during the week, but it'll be good just to have them back on the practice field.
Thank you.
Next is Jordan Hill.
Gus, you mentioned South Carolina's third down defense. What stands out to you about how they play on third down, and how big of a test is that going to be for you guys, especially given you talk so much about improving on third down?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Well, they're very aggressive up front. They put pressure on the quarterbacks. They disrupt quarterbacks and make them uncomfortable. They do a good job with their coverage. They don't give you any easy throws. You've got to earn it. And it's impressive to watch.
Next is Mark Murphy.
Yeah, talk about South Carolina's physicality. I know their head coach believes in playing that way. Have you seen that from this team?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you look at their defense, and they're 18th in the country. They're third in the league, and like I said, what stands out to me is their third down defense. They actually they get after the quarterback extremely well, and they play tight coverage, and like I said, don't give you any easy ones.
The how much does it help, if any, that they have like 3 or 4 coaches that are really familiar with Auburn, like Bobby Bentley and
yeah, that's been a while. I think, what was that, 2015? So it's been a while. So we'll see.
Thanks.
Next is Tom Green.
Hey, Gus, you mentioned on Sunday that you guys have been doing some padded practices even on Sunday to try to develop a little more depth along the defensive line. Who are some of the guys you think could really step up and provide a little bit more to that rotation?
Yeah, well, it's for all the above, not just defensive line, but it's for the offensive line and even quarterbacks, defensive backs, all that. But, just trying to get those younger guys, all of them, up front, and then our 2 junior college players, and our 2 junior college players on the offensive line too, to get them more reps. And we got a couple freshmen up front on the offensive line that we feel like it just needs more reps too. So just getting those guys developed for depth. We still got 7 SEC games. We've been very fortunate with COVID so far. So really the plan has just been, that's been part of the process that our plan, and develop more depth and get our guys ready. And you can see improvement even like watching the film Sunday night after I think we went 16 plays or something, but you could see a couple guys starting to take that next step. But to answer your question specifically, yeah, all the freshmen up front and the 2 junior college players.
Next is Steve Moulton.
Yes, Coach. I'm wondering how healthy you think you are along the defensive line, and so far, how have they looked this week, Coach?
Yeah, well, like I said, we just had a Sunday practice specifically geared towards our young guys. We'll probably have our main base down practice day to day, and like I said, we're hopeful that we have everyone out there other than KJ Britt to be in some sort of practice mode today. We'll see how that goes after today and tomorrow, and like I said, I can give an update on Thursday after we wrap up practice.
And since it is South Carolina, I can't help but want to get a thought or two from 2010. I know it's the 10-year anniversary of the national championship year. Of those matchups against South Carolina, I think y'all faced them twice, once in the SEC championship game. Just any memories on those matchups for you, Coach?
Yeah. First of all, at home, it was an extremely tough game, and we end up winning it close. And then we got a chance to play them again. Anytime you play a team the second time the same year, that's always a challenge. But, that was a team that we continue to get better throughout the year. And we were playing our best ball in the SEC championship. And, of course, we won that game pretty good. And, the rest is history.
Next is Philip Marshall. Philip, you there?
Yes, I'm sorry. Gus, it's kind of a pretty neat story that your first touchdown Saturday was scored by a kid that always wanted to play at Auburn and was playing in his first game. How much do those kinds of stories mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot, And, of course, I was a walk-on, same way he was. But, what's really stood out to me about him is just he does anything we ask him to do, whether it's scout team, special team, scout team, defense. And he's got a skill set, too. He's a little bit banged up earlier in the year and came through. And so, he's a guy that can really help us, we feel like, moving forward on special teams. So we're real pleased with Lester right now.
Thanks.
Next is Nathan King.
Hey, Gus. Question about Colby Wooden. Some of the guys after the game were saying that they feel like he's really toughened up mentally. Obviously, he gained back all that weight after he got sick, and then he became, moved to the defensive line on the inside. What did you kind of see out of him over the past year that impressed you? In terms of toughness coming back from that?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's very important to him. And, he's a high character guy, and he's really worked extremely hard and starting to play Auburn type football with the toughness and attitude and everything that goes with it. So, I think you'll see a guy that will continue to improve, throughout the season.
Next is Josh Vitale.
Yes, I think you guys have only 5 touchdowns on 10 red zone trips this season. What are the challenges in that area, and how do you go about improving?
I didn't understand the first part of it. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, you guys have only 5 touchdowns on 10 red zone trips. What are the challenges in that area, and how do you go about improving?
Yeah, we'll continue. Like I said, Chad's learning a lot about his guys. He's got 3 games under his belt. And I think just like anything else, I think the offense will have an opportunity to improve each week, not just in red zone, but third down and first down and all that. So, that's the goal. And now we're finally, of course, you look last week, Austin Troxell got banged up in practice, wasn't able to play. Broderius didn't get a lot of reps. We weren't for sure if he was going to be able to play or not. So we had Counsell that, started at left guard one game, right guard another game. He started at right tackle. And so, I really believe that getting 5 guys, getting healthy up front, which I think this week will be healthier, and getting those 5 guys set, I think that helps everything. And not just red zone and all that, but like I told you earlier, I mean, we did have the same 5 guys in fall camp, and now it's kind of been mix and match. But I think we're to a point now where we got a chance to be healthier, and I think you'll see, improvement.
Next is Gianna Han.
Hi Gus. How are the younger linebackers looking? And is the plan to still have Owen and Zacoby handle most of the snaps with maybe some help from Zion, or as the younger linebackers kind of step up, is Zion going to go back in the defensive back position?
Yeah, Zacoby, and Owen. I mean, those guys. I've said this. I mean, they're 2 of the best in our league, and they played really well the other night. We're working extremely hard to get those young guys ready. And last week was super for them. They got more reps, and so each week, I just getting more comfortable with our system, familiar with things. But we do feel like those guys are talented. You saw them play a whole lot of special teams last week. All those linebackers got a chance to help on special teams, and there's nothing like getting out there, even if it's not the defensive snaps. Getting those reps on special teams helps too. So you'll continue to see those guys develop, and I think you'll see them on the field more and more as the season goes on.
Next is Jason Caldwell.
Gus talked about, tight ends and their usage kind of in the passing game, but how important is it just to find a third option? I mean, Seth and Anthony have been really the guys that Bo has looked at, and, without Eli, but how important is it to have more guys, and what does that mean for an offense?
Yeah, I think that's part of developing the offense and expanding it more. Keep in mind, we weren't able to go through spring. I just told you about the offensive line issues and personnel as far as trying to get the 5 guys. But I do know this, early on in the season, we really have worked hard to get the ball to Flash, and we felt like after looking at last season, he needed more touches. So I think that's a real positive. And you can see him, he's really starting to come on. And then you look at Seth, and we think Seth's got a chance to be one of the best receivers in the league also, and trying to get him involved. So what you'll see is it'll be a process, and you'll see more and more guys get involved. And, a lot of times if they're going to single those guys, we're going to keep throwing it to them. And if they do a little extra, well, then you use your common sense and you start getting it to other guys. So I think with both of those factors, I think you'll see more and more touches for other guys, throughout the next 7 games.
Thanks.
Next is Justin Ferguson.
Hey, Gus, you were mentioning how offensive line hoping to get all those guys healthier this week. Against Arkansas, y'all rotated a little bit, but there was that one line that played most of the game. How much does Troxell possibly coming back, or how much does that affect what we're planning to do? Because it seemed like y'all had a set one for most of the game on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Trox is really coming on, and he was in a real good position before he got banged up, I think, on Wednesday. And so, Council hadn't played any reps at right tackle, and so from Wednesday late in practice and Thursday, that was his reps that he got. And then, of course, Broderius was able to go, and that really helped. And we moved, we played KJ and Tayshawn at guard, along with Council too. So, just that ability to have a week of practice where you got 5 guys in the best positions that they can be, and you start working on that continuity, that's so critical.
Have a follow-up from Tom Green.
Hey, Gus, I know we've talked about J.J. Pegues so far and just what he's been able to do in his role. But that hurdle that he had against Arkansas, have you ever seen a 300-pounder with that kind of grace and athleticism before?
I haven't. Of course, I hadn't coached very many 300-pound skill guys either. But he's got a special skill set. We knew that when we recruited him. He's a very, very good basketball player too. And his high school team was split him out at wide receiver. They play him at wildcat. I mean, he's a very versatile guy, and I think you could see that his role expand throughout the season.
Next is Brian Matthews.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned a couple of times in the last week about the need to put more pressure on the quarterback. If you guys don't necessarily have a Carl Lawson or Jeff Holland, right now, how do you go about doing that?
Well, like I said, I think that's week to week. finding different ways to do that. And so you got to keep in mind we've got 3 weeks under our belt. What we have and what we need to work on and all that. So that'll be a big part of this week. Being able to try to at least disrupt the quarterback. And so we'll work extremely hard on that this week.
As a follow-up, is there anybody on the team maybe we haven't seen a lot of or hasn't had a chance to play a lot that has that really good pass rush ability?
I think more than anything, just developing some guys and getting them more opportunities. The same thing, up front, we've had, the COVID issues and some different injuries that have kind of pushed back some of the development that normally, would be more accelerated. So they've had some of the same issues as the offensive line. And so I really feel like that group each week will improve too. And you heard me say this the last 2 weeks. I mean, our goal is to get a little bit better each week. And, if we do that, we think we'll have a chance to be in the mix at the end. And, there's not going to be a whole lot of teams, I think, improve, especially under these unusual circumstances this year.
Thank you.
Next is Mark Murphy.
With KJ out for a while, how important is Jacoby, and how good can he be after making his first start and playing a lot the past couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big time linebacker. He's got a great nose for the ball. He can defeat blocks, and he's got great effort, and he can play sideline to sideline. And it's just a matter of him even getting more reps. I think the better he'll get. So, we're in great shape, I think, with him and Owen. And you'll see those guys continue to improve. But both of them, like I said, they got the helmet sticker on defense, and because they were all over the field and they made plays and defeated blocks, and it was good to watch.
What type of kid is Jacoby for you guys to coach?
He's a superhuman being. He's got a great heart, got a great spirit about him. He loves football. I mean, he is a football player with a capital F, and he. He loves the physicality. He's an Auburn football player, and he's tough. So he's a lot of fun to coach.
Thanks.
Next is Justin Ferguson.
Hey, Gus, what has impressed you the most about how quickly Tank has been able to, make such an impact? I think I saw a stat where he's already broken the second most tackles in college football this year.
Yeah. What's impressed me is just his physicality and determination. He's still learning the plays. I mean, he is still learning the schemes and the steps and everything that goes with it. And but one thing he's doing is he's bringing the wood, and he's running angry with great physicality and with great effort. He's really doing a good job in kick returns too. And we're throwing him in the fire. I mean, he's a true freshman, and didn't get to go through spring, and we had Worm banged up, and DJ banged up, so he had an opportunity, and he sees that opportunity. And I really think you'll see him after the game slows down a little bit, and he actually can read things and slow himself down. I think sky's the limit.
Tom Green's next.
Just going off that, what is it about Tank that's just, for a freshman to be able to come on and have that kind of success so early? I think he had the best rushing performance by a freshman since Michael Dyer. Teammates were saying he was running like Cadillac.
I think it's his approach. I think it's his approach. He loves the game of football. He loves playing football. He's got confidence. He's got a great positive spirit about him, and he has that edge. And you see him running it, and like I said, he's got the potential to really keep going, and that's what's exciting for me.
Got 2 more. First is from Steve Moulton.
Yes, Coach. I was hoping I could get a thought or two from you about Colin Hill and really the offensive scheme that you've seen out of Mike Bobo there at South Carolina, Coach.
Yeah, of course, Mike was at Georgia, a long time. We faced him, and, he's a really good, sound football coach. Of course, he goes to Colorado State, and, I really feel like they even expanded some things than what he did at Georgia. And so now he's kind of got a combination of both, but they're sound. He uses formations, and I think he does a good job scheming up the run game, which, I've said before, in this league, you got to be able to run it and throw it. And so then you look at his grad transfer quarterback, you can tell he's been with him, you can tell he's comfortable. And like I said, he looks like a big guy that's got a big arm, so kind of knows what to expect. And I think that's especially in a year like this, an experienced quarterback that's been with his coach before. I think those teams have an advantage over some.
Our last question is from Jason Caldwell.
Gus, and really pretty much the whole fourth quarter at Georgia, and even against Arkansas, some Capers, Kobe Hudson, Javarius Johnson, all those guys got a lot of reps. How valuable is that moving forward for those young wide receivers, just to kind of get a feel for the speed of the game?
Yeah, the more reps that those guys get, the better they're going to be. We think they're very talented, and I think those guys have done some good things so far. They've practiced extremely well. I think that's a hungry group that really the moment's not going to be too big when they start playing more, which it's just a matter of time. And I think their development is going really well right now.